Welcome to my review of Act 2 for the Doom Eternal PC mod KAISER campaign. I covered Act 1 back in August of 2020, and for a video on a PC mod, it actually got a good amount of attention, and KAISER campaign Act 1 has gone on to be one of the most downloaded mods in the community. Deservedly so, it's really good. It's taken a while to get Act 2 out to the public, but it's finally here and I'm ready to talk about it. When speaking with KAISER before this video, he said the intention of his campaign is to provide a fresh and appropriately challenging remix of the campaign for experienced Doom Eternal players. A lot of encounters still flow the same way, using the same key demon placements, just with added threats and new ideas. Some of these levels are actually unfinished id Software master levels, and with the first level of Act 2, we'll see that he's actually using the Super Gore master level as his foundation. If you'd like to play KAISER campaign, follow the link in the description below. Immediately, you'll notice a new menu theme. Again, it's by Alamander on YouTube, and this song is a big step up from the last one. Very fitting and helps to hype you up for the journey ahead. As long as you still have a copy of your save file from when you beat Act 1, you'll be starting on Super Gore, which immediately greets you with a ridiculous tentacle version of the UAC girl. Heading outside, you'll see that it starts identically to the SGN master level, and then starts adding more on top. The opening tyrant has been removed, so you don't have to kill a tyrant every time you restart the fight upon dying. Understandable. He's added blood spirits into the fight, which keep the pressure on you all the time. Remember, they can't be killed. And make sure you don't forget to use the hammer. Combat has been balanced to consider its use, so use it. It refills from weak points and blood punch kills. Try to identify groups of fodder and kill them all with one punch to get an instant hammer. This fight plays out pretty much as it does in the master level, and the best addition is clearly this truck that's freaking out. KAISER, what are you doing? Oh, that's right, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's got a bugged out black wall texture in his map. At least he has a sense of humor about it. I kinda like it. Keeping with the humor, the infamous Carcass Hell Knight room with a buff totem now has a living buff totem. I mean, it runs around the room. Look at this thing, it's ridiculous. It can't be punched, just shoot it. Another legendary room of this map is, of course, the Fog Marauder fight, which spawns in 2 Spectre-cursed fucking prowlers. Doesn't that sound like a nightmare? Well, yes and no. It's certainly dangerous, but cursed prowlers have been reworked in Act 2 in an interesting way. The green color effect has been removed from when you get hit, as has the life drain and dash removal. You don't get a free blood punch, but you can kill the cursed prowler with weapons, he just has a lot of resistance. It's a very different version of the enemy. Personally, I'm not a fan of this change. I think it makes him feel like less of a priority target. But I understand KAISER's thinking that he's easier to fit into chaotic fights without making him feel too oppressive. It works. There are some fights in this campaign where he uses cursed prowlers in such an oppressive way that it can be hard to avoid getting hit. So it works. I get it. I just wouldn't have done it. Moving on. The giant arena outside changes up the 5 cybermanks to be a mix of cyber and regular, which is a good call since you only have 1 blood punch at this point in the campaign. And the Mancubus weak points provide excellent hammer recharge opportunities. The fight mostly plays out the same as the master level, except, oh my god, Mojo the giant tentacle comes flying out of the lava, which I did not see coming. Inserting the yellow key takes us to the incredibly dangerous double tyrant Doom Hunter room with carcasses. And to compensate for your low health and ammo capacity, the zombies have been replaced by Maker drones. Very nice change, this room is still awesome. The buff totem fodder room remains from the master level as well, but with one very nice surprise. Wave 2 is a bunch of buffed stone imps. The Marauder room is the same, and I'm starting to notice that the Marauder is not stunning from the hammer. From what I understand, this is a bug caused by KAISER's use of the Better Marauders mod that removes friendly fire interruption. So this may be fixed or changed in a later version. But I'm thinking that maybe it doesn't need to be. Being able to mindlessly one-cycle a Marauder with a hammer is kinda lame, so maybe leave it like this. Though you could make the argument that since the hammer is harder to obtain, using it on a Marauder is a balanced choice, so we'll see what happens. The toxic room is still as deadly as ever, like it is in the master level, and there's a maker drone spawn to help with the resources. So yeah, a lot of this level is familiar so far. It's the master level with a few changes, but as we continue through Act 2, things are going to get more and more original. The double tyrants are still here, and I forget about the tentacles every time and get bopped around like an idiot. You know how these next parts go. Grab the chain gun, hit the switches to destroy the heart, the teleporter room adds some spectre pinkies, and then you gotta destroy the buff totem while surviving buffed mancubi. And we head outside for a pretty fun little moment. Taking down the Arachnotrons, Cybermank, and Pain Elemental, I spot a quad damage pickup, and I can actually use that on the top floor to eliminate the Archvile. Pretty cool. Working our way back into the building, we meet a new demon type, the Goblin Imp, or the Gimp. He's got damage resistance, he can't be lit on fire, he throws Marauder axes at you from battle mode, which are devastating, and he drops 30 armor points when he dies. Hilariously, he dies to a dash. Just falter him or stun him, and dash. Dead. 30 armor points. KAISER thought it would be funny to have a demon that died simply from human contact, and yeah, it's pretty good. The quad damage Berserk power-up room has seen a nice change. It's now a combination quad damage and haste, which is a fun way to cause some chaos. The double Marauder toxic room is unchanged, which is fine. I like this room enough already. So how about something that's entirely original, not built on the master level? Following the blue door path leads to an escalation encounter which throws a combination of stone imps and gimps at you and a mojo, followed by chain gunners, a pain elemental, and blood makers, soon followed by the appearance of a cursed prowler and 2 possessed dread knights. Dear lord, something about these demon combinations feels very unique. One of the most interesting fights I've seen in a while. The death of the first possessed Dread Knight immediately calls in a Marauder and an Armored Baron, which adds more awkwardness to the fight because of how difficult it can be to focus on either one of them, especially while you have another possessed Dread Knight to look out for. It's here that I noticed a pretty significant change to the spirit kill time, which I think works for the intensity of the campaign. Spirit kill time is actually tuned differently to each fight, allowing for more dynamic usage of possessed demons. Completing this excellent fight gives you the Proto-BFG, a version of the BFG with no tendrils and a very slow startup time. Very awkward to use. I'd almost rather not use it, though it can have its uses when planning ahead. The last arena fight in the outside almost feels like a nerf in a way because almost all the tyrants are gone, which is unfortunate because I always loved how they worked with the carcasses. I don't like separating best friends, you know? In their place is a Golden Doom Hunter, who is a massive problem on his own, of course, and he's accompanied by the Archviles at different ends of the map. I think this fight could have been a little crazier, like a final wave with a couple possessed pain elementals or something. Entering the Slayer Gate, there's... well, it's a bunch of possessed invisible turrets that spawn shield guys and carcasses and turn the environmental effects on and off. It's a troll encounter. It's quite dumb. I wouldn't exactly call it fun, but it sure is different, I'll give him that. Top it off with a couple Marauders surrounded by Screechers and Chain Gunners, and you've got yourself a weird-ass party. It's time to get the hell out of here, and during the escape sequence you can find a trigger that leads to a secret exit. Run all the way back to the beginning to find a portal that takes you to a battle mode map with one of the most intense fights of the campaign. I have never seen this map, because I don't know battle mode, but it's awesome. It starts with an immediate Stone Imp rush, backed by a pair of Whiplashes, leading to a combination of demons that for some reason I find uniquely difficult. Maybe it was that I didn't have max health and ammo, and I'm surrounded by lava, but dealing with a Cybermank, Bloodmaker, respawning turret, Armored Baron, Prowlers, Dread Knight, Cacodemon, Pain Elemental, Arachnotrons, and a Pinky, I just got pushed around. And after them, we get to see one of the main features of this mod, the Cyber Cacodemon, a faithful recreation of the demon concept by myself and my friend Crom. We came up with the design and function of this guy a long time ago, and seeing him come to life is genuinely surreal. He functions as a super heavy demon, lots of HP, his toxic spray covers the ground in huge puddles, he's very oppressive, he takes double damage from Blood Punch, so you can falter him, meat hook in and get the Blood Punch and then back off. He's such a cool addition. I could see this guy as an official enemy someday. The fight wraps up with a Tyrant, Hell Knight, Carcasses, and a Blood Spirit buffed Mancubus. Excellent fight, another highlight of the mod. Mars Core starts with... I'm punching this section in because when I finished recording this video, I realized that I completely forgot to talk about Art Complex, and that's a big part of the experience, so definitely can't do that. Alright, so let's get to Art Complex, a level some would argue is the best in the game. Started with a tentacle and some Imora soldiers standing around. Okay. And another tentacle. Is this gonna be weird? It's gonna be a level full of tomfoolery, isn't it? We'll see. The opening areas pretty much flow as usual, just some mix-ups in the demons. The Mancubus is now an Arachnotron, we've got a Cybermank, and the pressure builds a bit with a Dread Knight Doom Hunter combo. We're just trucking along, pushing forward, slaying some demons. We've got the Pain Elemental spawn from the Master level. Actually, it's been ages since I played the Art Complex Master level, so forgive me if I credit something to KAISER that's actually from the Master level. I suppose I could go replay it and make notes just to be sure, but... This is new though, I'm sure of it. A Marauder pops out, and I gotta deal with him while maneuvering around this weird geometry, getting bullied by a Bloodmaker and a Hell Knight. Nice. What's down here? A Blood Spirit possessed turret? Why not? We've got a few disposable chain gunners, and this Blood Spirit is still just hopping around the imps one after another. He even tries to weasel his way into the fight on the lower floor and get into some sweet Hell Knight action. A lone Archvile welcomes us to the outside arena where we're given an interesting choice. Purple goo, or the floor is lava. We'll go with lava, cause that sounds novel. So we get right into Carcasses and shield guys supporting a Tyrant, and we work our way to the other side where we have a Bloodmaker, Dread Knight, and Cyber Mancubus to deal with, as Cacodemons start creeping in from the back. It's really not too much to deal with, just some good old General Doom Eternal fun. What's next? Wow, how scary. We're just working our way through, running upstairs, shooting pinkies in the butt, dropping hammers on fools. We got an Archvile buffing everyone, and I found a hidden switch. What did it do? I have no idea, no time to find out. I'm gonna get out of here and BFG this motherfucker. Good lord, how long is it gonna take to fire this fucking thing? Oh my god. Whew, we made it. Barely. And we're gonna hop into the Slayer Gate and see if it's more than an invisible turret troll encounter. Alright, we've got Barons coming in, Pinky, Whiplash, not bad, and the Marauder comes right in, but what the fuck, why is he so tiny? And he's got Clifford with him. This is straight up bizarre. Never in my life did I expect to be fighting tiny Doom Hunters and tiny Marauders with their giant dogs. This room is weird, man. It's waves of these things, and it's hilarious. Again, it's not that hard, but it sure is something different. As we head over to the next buildings, we have long-distance Mancubus harassment to block the platforming, which is something I wish I saw more of. And this room has a Spectre just waiting for you to explode it. So I do. That'll be fun. But there aren't enough enemies in the room to make it mean anything. Use those new convenient meat hook points to launch up to the top, and we get to see what is probably my favorite view in all of Doom Eternal. This scene doesn't get talked about, but it's beautiful. We always just fly right by it, but come on, that's an awesome view. And then you're actually pushing through the inside of the plane. It's great. I'm surprised there aren't more moments like this in the game. Outside the plane is another nice view, and I had a lot of fun here because there's 2 possessed revenants, and I just feel like I'm not seeing enough spirits around here, you know? Not too much to say about the staircases, just some demon swaps really to require more ammo. I normally don't do these secret encounters, but I did this one and it was kinda tricky. Not only do you have to eliminate the 2 Arachnotrons, but up around the staircase there's an Archvile doing his thing. The timing is pretty tight and might take players a few tries, especially if they don't know where the Archvile is. We're approaching the iconic dining room fight, and Mojo the giant tentacle pops up to give us a little kiss, and then dies immediately. So let's go down and crash this party, huh? This fight actually plays out pretty normally. It's still fun, cause this room is always fun, but there are no DLC enemies, no new enemies from KAISER, and no memorable gimmicks. It's just a fight. The outside area is a bit more interesting. While it's still skippable, it has a lot more here to make it fun. 3 Mancubi closing in while the new enemy, the Projector, creates phantom tyrants on the left. There's even a second wave that calls in an armored Baron. And this is the stuff I was looking for in the dining room fight. What's next? Corridors, elevators, a bunch of stone imps, a Mancubus in a room of screechers. How lovely, I'm gonna hammer, I don't care. And we walk into the old school arena, which is one of my favorites from this level. It's so Unreal Tournament looking. It starts with a bang, multiple precision targets, and a Baron and a possessed Cyber Mancubus side by side. Prowlers come in to support a Doom Hunter, and the fight ends fairly quickly. Oh, but what's this? An escalation encounter. Don't mind if I do. The reward for surviving that epic brawl is a 20% boost to plasma damage. Should be helpful, especially to me, a known beamer. The purple goo tunnel, which has always been one of my favorite purple goo sections in the game, has been beefed up to feel more dangerous. Pain Elemental, 2 Cybermanks, but it's not as scary as it could be because of the purple goo nerf in this mod. The weirdest part is dealing with 3 Maker drones on the high ground raining projectiles on you, supporting a mini tyrant. Fun combo, not gonna lie. And you're actually locked into this area until you kill everyone. Here's a nice quality of life change. Portals that let you skip the elevator towers. Hooray! I don't mind those elevators in the first playthroughs. Doom Eternal is such an exhausting experience when you're learning it. I honestly appreciate little break moments. But yeah, the 50th time you play, you don't want to wait for it. Fingers crossed that the next id Software game features some kind of repeat player shortcut feature. Now let's get to the parking garage. Is this the best fight space in Art Complex? I think it might be. It's such a contrast to the previous arena where you had various paths, lots of vertical space to play through. The garage locks you into a single plane and gives you nowhere to hide. That's the kind of arena variety I really value in this game. For any of you still wondering why exactly I had issues with Tag 2, that's one of them. With a few exceptions, the arenas mostly felt and played similarly. The lower level of the garage features an extended combat encounter. After you take out the Carcass and Whiplash, you're dealing with a Baron, Pain Elemental, Arachnotron, and then an armored Baron shows up with Stone Imps. Awesome combo. You're trying to break the Baron's armor and capitalize on your limited moment to damage him, while Stone Imps are charging in to screw you up. After that, you've still got Arachnotrons and a Dread Knight to deal with, and these damn Stone Imps are everywhere. The bridge section is the bridge section. Pick up the quad damage and everyone's getting cooked. This circular area is looking suspicious. There's a meat hook point up there. What's this about? Nothing's happening, so we move on. We take the elevator up and you just gotta watch this cutscene. I mean, it's one of the best cutscenes in the game, I think we can all agree on that. But look at this styling gold marauder. He looks amazing. He's gonna kick my ass, isn't he? Well, yeah, he's a bastard. KAISER said he wanted to recapture the feeling the marauder gave us the first time we fought him. This guy has a bunch of HP, he moves lightning fast, and he brings in other marauders to fight with him. Luckily, they die in a single hit, but they respawn and constantly add new pressure to the situation. Things move so fast, KAISER put a dash refill in the center so you can move around better. Good call, dude. I found the key here to be stick and move. Don't try to focus too much damage on the marauder. Just get your hits in and back out. Wait for the right moment to strike while you deal with the rest of the room. When he falls, a Hell Knight, Revenant, and Whiplash make their way in, followed by another marauder fight against 2 spirit-buffed marauders. This was a pretty exciting fight, and an excellent way to close out Art Complex. Wait, what's this?
You will die for their sins.
So that's what this room was all about. Well, cool. It's a little frustrating not being able to see, but it's pretty fun nonetheless. We go through the portal and make our way to Mars Core. End of Punch-In. Mars Core starts with a cinematic that for some reason features something. I don't know what this is. It's awesome. And when you get in the elevator, it breaks and you fall straight to the bottom. Another great quality of life change. The intro section combat is remixed to have a Hell Knight, Revenant, and Stone Imp, and once you get to the first teleporter, it's locked until you clear the room, like the master level. Enemies are set up perfectly on the right side for a destroyer blade, and once you take out the Cyber Mancubus, you see the fog as it's creeping in. Spectre Totem time. Now we have a bunch of Spectre Revenants, and boy are they annoying. Even more so when they're backed up by Stone Imps running all over the goddamn room. The teleport opens up and takes us to a pretty traditional encounter. Some shield guys, some cacos, a Mancubus, nothing to write home about. I do like the Archvile hidden around the corner though. Heading outside, we get a dose of real pain. Everyone is buffed and they're right in front of your face. Lost souls are flying at you while an armored Baron comes in to beat your face in. I fell a few times here out of stubbornness, and you can either stand your ground or rush past the first wave in search of the buff totem. I prefer to stay and fight it out. The connecting area locks you in with lasers to be pressured by a marauder while whiplashes come through the barrier. It's a cool idea, I like marauders in tight spaces, but it was pretty easy to fall back on the crates and rain down explosives for splash damage. There's a few hammer pickups scattered around the room. I feel like this room had grander intentions, maybe it can be tweaked a bit. Outside I see something disgusting. A Cacodemon and a Cyber Cacodemon making out? That's actually pretty hot. Maybe we can get a closer look. Oh no. This room is what KAISER refers to as a roadblock. If you're not ready for this, you're gonna struggle. There's lots of pressure to be found here between the Hell Knights, carcasses, 2 Cyber Cacos, and when you're done with them, you get 3 Bloodmakers. One of them is this alpha version, which has more HP and some really wacky projectiles, with Revenant support on the side, of course, and Prowlers coming up the back with a Mancubus harassing at a distance. The regular Bloodmakers carry Blood Spirits, so if you take them out immediately, you're gonna have buffed Revenants and Prowlers to deal with. Top it off with a buffed Baron and buffed Cyber Caco, and you've got yourself one hell of a fight. And sure, why not? How about a Pain Elemental and a couple Projectors to close it out? Yeah, I can do that, no problem. Projectors actually have a nice redesign visually, glowing blue. They stand out a lot more now, good change. And how about this Easter egg of a giant spinning T-posing Archvile? Classy. The Piston Room is interesting. There's a bunch of harassment from the top with Revenants, turrets, and possessed soldiers that don't actually have spirits in them. I'm not sure if that's a bug or what. It's an awkward fight because it's an awkward room. Now the BFG room. You'll remember that we already had the BFG, the Proto BFG. So this actually upgrades it to be what it normally is instead of the crappy Proto BFG we've been using. I've been dying to fire a real BFG, so I do. Take out this Doom Hunter real quick and kill some fodder to stock up, and now we've got more Cyber Cacos coming in. It's great because in our lore page we said that they travel in groups because they're looked down upon by the other demons. They're stinky, they're rude, no one likes them, they stick together. You don't have to engage in this fight too much, there's respawning BFG cells and a couple hammer pickups on top of the pods. We are now at my favorite part of the level, the outside. Take a moment to admire the beautiful skybox. The first arena of this part again gives you a couple BFG cells, so you can get past it pretty easily if you want to. I used it once to take the Tyrant down, and that eliminated the Dread Knight and the Mancubus, and that summoned a couple Bloodmakers and an Archvile. Eventually I say, fuck it, I'm gonna BFG again. But the room isn't done with me. That's what I like about these encounters. A single unplanned BFG shot isn't an immediate answer to a fight. It usually just brings on the next more intense wave. We've still got Whiplashes, another Cyber Caco, and a Cursed Prowler running around. And holy shit, that Archvile is still alive, and everyone is buffed. After finishing this room, I got stuck in a fodder loop and had to kill AI. It happens. It's a mod. There's not much to say for the next few sections. It's the corridors, it's the tentacle room, it's the second outside area. How do people refer to this part? It really stands out in Mars Core, but I don't know what to call it. It's one of my favorite combat spaces in this level. Here we have a Pain Elemental, 2 Tyrants, and another Archvile, and really I'm glad to be seeing more Archviles. I like having high priority targets in fights. Archviles, Cursed Prowlers, maybe you could even say Stone Imps and Carcasses. I also like the mix of shield guys with ground hazards, so you never really feel safe no matter where you're moving. Indoors, things feel pretty straightforward. Another Cyber Kako appears, this is definitely their level. You've got chain gunners walking alongside a Mancubus, but then we finally get to see the return of the Thrash Knight, KAISER's brilliant super heavy variation of the Hell Knight. Metallic colored skin, high HP, and when he's low on life, he supercharges and becomes lightning fast. I love this guy, I hope he appears more in Act 3. Really nice to pair him with carcasses too. The next part, I'm gonna admit to not understanding. Everyone knows you can skip this entire section and go right to the end, but if you do that here, the end is blocked. Now, I get it, it's designed to make you fight everyone instead of run to the end. I appreciate that, but it leads to two crappy situations. One, you don't know that, and you get to the end and you gotta go all the way back to the beginning where you're sniping revenants. Or, you think you've killed everyone, but you actually haven't, and you gotta go back and look for the one guy you missed. Both situations suck. I gotta wonder if there isn't a better solution to this. I went back and I thought I killed everyone and the door was still closed, so I said nope, moving on, kill AI. The big tentacle room has a hidden buff totem that's actually hidden in the vents that lead to the Slayer Gate key, which I thought was really clever. So let's do that Slayer Gate, can't be too bad, right? This is another weird one. I feel like KAISER is using Slayer Gates not as true tests of skill, but rather opportunities to express his wacky sense of creativity. This isn't nearly as bizarre as the mini Doom Hunters or the Spectre turrets, but after a pretty chaotic fight against dual Marauders with Cursed Prowlers and Hell Knights coming in to bully you, the last part is just running around killing Immora soldiers. Alright, whatever, it's done. Let's move on, we're close to the end. KAISER would kill me if I didn't mention the dragon flying around outside, so there it is. And here we have the official appearance of the Phantom Soldier. Plasma is very effective against them and makes their shields straight up disappear. And we're going into the final arena. I think we can expect something good here. Everyone's buffed. Yes, there's an Archvile in the back and we're gonna get him immediately. Whiplashes definitely have to go next. We've got a bunch of these Phantom Soldiers running around, with a Cursed Prowler and a Baron to push us around. And, that wasn't really much of a fight at all. What gives? The Kako Demon area over the lava pit feels the same basically, just with Bloodmakers and... Oh. Well, that's more like it. Passing it gives us the BFG shield generator, which I think is from battle mode? I don't remember, but it protects you when you shoot it. And with that, we make our way to Sentinel Prime. There's not much to say about this level. There's two ways to go about it. One, fight your way through combat rooms, which are honestly quite tame, or shoot a secret switch that activates a portal to take you right to the boss. But you don't want to do that. You want to go through the level, because if you do, you get access to the escalation encounter version of the Gladiator boss fight, where he's accompanied by the Dark Lord. Fuck, this is cool. The Dark Lord can't be killed, he's just there to make you uncomfortable. If you interrupt him, you can damage him for a big health recharge, which is an awesome feature. Maker drones have been added to help with resources, and I don't think the Gladiator does his attack where you can parry him, at least not very often. So you gotta use the new meat hook point to get in the air and shoot down at him and hit behind his shield. I have messed with that somewhat in the base campaign, so it's nice to see that be the main strategy in this. Phase 2 is really wild. He puts down tracks of fire wherever he goes, Bloodmakers are sniping you, and Stone Imps are running around like idiots, the balcony has turrets harassing you, and while the Dark Lord isn't here anymore, he is summoning the Red Shadow versions of demons from the Tag 2 boss fight. When you get locked into the energy walls, the laser patterns have been changed to add vertical bars so it's a little trickier to avoid. This is a great fight, an incredibly fresh take on a classic boss fight, and a great way to end Act 2. The gladiator falls while stone imps and tyrants continue to attack me through the cutscene, hilarious, and that's the end of Act 2. What more can I say? I recommend it, it's fun as hell. Lots of creativity and surprises, you can just feel the dedication put into this project. It'll probably be a while till Part 3 comes out, as KAISER needs a much-deserved break, so get on this when you can. A job well done to KAISER for continuing to prove that he's a real force to be reckoned with in the Doom Eternal mod community. It's not just his eye for design, it's his understanding of what makes the game great in the first place. Thanks for watching this mod review, check back soon for some more Doom Eternal content.